All right.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Hope you guys had a good week. I know we've been gone for a little while now, but we're moving, like we said, we're moving the show to Saturdays and Sundays. So you guys are gonna get your first Saturday of baseball and basketball. So Danny, why don't we start up with them sexy standings and see where these boys are at after that All Star game, which sucked, by the way.
Um, yeah, they were horrible. Like I had said in the last episode, the American League has won X amount of fucking the All-Star games within the last like 10 years. I think they've won like 10 out of the last 13 or something. But
Good God.
um, no, and they're usually always close games like 3-2 and shit like that. But so in the National League Central, the Brewers are in first. They're 51 and 43. They got a game and a half lead over the Cardinals.
Nice.
They're 50 and 45. The Pirates are 39 and 55. The Cubs are 36 and 57. The Reds are 35 and 57. And the NL East, the Mets are in first. They got a 58 and 36 record. They got a game and a half lead on the Braves.
Did they win last
They're
night?
They did. They ambushed Otani in the seventh, and then they ended up scoring 7 runs in the seventh inning, and he got taken out.
No, 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 no. I'm talking about the Mets. They played the Padres, didn't they?
They lost 4-1.
Oh, and the Braves played.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. I'm like, wait a minute.
The Phillies are 49 and 44. The Marlins are 44 and 49, and the Nationals are 31 and 64. In the NL West, the Dodgers are 62 and 30. They got a 10.5 game lead on the Padres. They're 53 and 42. The Giants are 48 and 45. The Rockies are 43 and 51, and the
Hey, we're not in
Diamondbacks
last place.
now
Yay!
not far off though. And the
Yes.
Diamondbacks are 41 and 52.
Good lord. All right.
Yeah,
So we'll start with the American League East. We have the Yankees giving up some ground here. They got the shit kicked out of them by Houston. Was that 2 games in a row they lost? So
yeah,
they're 65 and 30, which is still spectacular of a record. The Rays are 52 and 41. They're 12 games behind. Excuse me. The Blue Jays 51 and 43. The Red Sox 48 and 46. 27 runs yesterday.
yeah. They had an inside the park grand slam. So I seen the play. So they had the bases loaded, and Raimel Tapia or whatever his name is, he hit a fly ball to center field, and the center fielder looked up and he was like, "Wait, I lost it." He couldn't find the ball. The ball literally landed all the way behind him on the very edge of the warning track, right next to the wall. And then he turned around, and he sees the ball. He's like, "Oh, there it is," and he puts forth like no effort to go after the ball. And then you see the left fielder just come over and grab the ball, and then yeah, everybody scored. And I'm sitting there, I'm watching it, I'm like, damn, I'm like, that kid should get taken out of the game right now. Like, I get it, you couldn't find the ball, you lost it in the lights or whatever, but then to turn around and just be like, oh, there it is. And he took like 2 steps and was like, fuck that, I'm not going after it. Like, come on, man, like, that's just it's funny. But yeah, no, that was I don't know. If I don't know what's the most runs ever scored in a baseball game, but I definitely think that's got to be up there.
Oh God, up there. That's beyond up there, dude. But an
Yeah.
inside the park home run grand slam. Maybe they should fire that head coach.
Well, I mean, Boston is definitely, Boston was. I mean, I wasn't say they were gaining ground as far as the division lead, but I mean,
Wild card ground though.
they weren't playing like they weren't playing too bad. I don't recall a few weeks ago, but then they've had a rash of injuries with their rotation. Chris Sale came back, and within his first game, got hit on a hand with a line drive, and his thumb got broken.
Oh yeah, he's done for a couple months now.
So now he's probably done for the year. And honestly, if I'm Boston, I'm you know what, I'm trading some guys off. I'm bringing up some top prospects, and I'm just gonna try to stay competitive. I mean, I'm not gonna tank out the. I'm not gonna tank the rest of the way, but
You might as well at this point.
yeah. So 1979, the Cubs and Phillies combined to score a total of 45 runs. But I mean, as far as the most runs scored by one team, I think that's definitely the Blue Jays. Trying to find that if I can.
I just love how the soundboard just went to shit.
What do you mean?
I can't get my soundboard up.
No, that's all right.
No, because that was gonna be the perfect fucking moment for, bruh, 27 runs and inside the park grand slam. Either fire the head coach or trade that fucking guy who, like you said, was just like, yeah, I don't really give a shit. The Orioles, I'm just proud of the Orioles. If you're an Oriole fan, you should be excited. 46-47. You guys, you right there.
Yeah, they almost beat the Yankees last night. They almost made a comeback. They made it interesting, I'll tell you. They were down 7-3, and then Santander, whatever the hell his name is, hit that 3-run shot in the 8th, and
good God.
Yeah, they made it a game, but
all right. So we go to the Central. The Twins 50-44. The Guardians 47-44. They're a game and a half behind. The White Sox 46-47. The White Sox still have some times to right this ship and actually try to get in the wild card or overtake that division.
The division, unless
they're only 3.5 back.
Yeah, but unless Minnesota has a complete collapse, I don't see that happen. I say as long as Minnesota can, like, if they can just manage to play 500 ball throughout the rest of the way, I think they'll be fine. I think that division will definitely be theirs. Right. A wild card more likely for the White Sox, but it's still a long shot because
it is what it is.
There's a bunch of other teams in the race. I mean, you got the Rays, Blue Jays, Red Sox, and Orioles that are all in the hunt. You know, there's a lot of teams in the mix. A lot.
All right, so the Tigers are 38-56. They're pretty much done. We know that. The Kansas City Royals 36-57. That's just a laughing stock right there.
Yeah.
The Astros 62-32. Man, I'm sorry. They're the best team in baseball right now because they kicked the shit out of the best record in baseball.
Yeah, they've out of 6 matchups with the Yankees, they've won 4 out of the 6. So.
And it seems like every time they play, the Yankees just go missing. They pull a Jason Tatum. They're just gone. Where did everybody fucking go? What happened? What happened? It was 65-30. But you guys play like we're 30-65 when we fucking play them.
Right.
The Mariners, man.
The Mariners are still hot.
51-43, man. They're hot. They're rolling. That kid, what's his name? Julio?
Yeah, Julio Rodriguez.
That first round in the fucking home run derby. Holy shit.
What, he had like 31 home runs?
32 home runs in like
32.
the process of like 3 minutes. And then they were bombs. Like bombs. If I'm a Mariner fan, I'd be excited just for that reason, let alone. And you guys, and they're pushing, they're moving good, man. I think they're gonna get one of the wild cards.
I definitely believe it. I mean, yeah.
The Rangers 42-50, the Angels 39-54, the Oakland Athletics 34-62. 29 games back. What the fuck are you doing?
They're done.
I understand they had a fire sale, but
it's like the Nationals. They have the worst record in baseball. They're 31-64. They're 27.5 back.
Yeah, they might as well just trade Soto to wherever.
Well,
the losses.
Well, they're still unsure if they even want to trade him because I was just reading an article before, not this earlier today, where they're in the process of trying to sell that team. So they're figuring that the team essentially is going to be more attractive to sell if it still has Soto as opposed to not having him. So they're not. They're open to trading him definitely, depending on if they get the right package. But I mean, I get it. I mean, if I'm trying to buy that team, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm buying the team, and who does the team have? I mean, if it doesn't have any stars, if it doesn't have any household names or anything like that on it, then basically I'm buying the team, and I got to start from scratch. So the first couple of years of me owning this team are going to be
Yeah, but do you think Steve Cohen thought like that when he was going to buy the Mets?
no. But I mean, at least the Mets had more pieces in place.
Yeah, but
No,
making a deal like that would give you pieces and prospects.
what do you mean?
Like to trade Soto, even I understand what you're saying. Like you want the team to look more attractive for sale
For the new owners.
for the new owners. But when that new owner comes in, he's gonna have that big contract for Soto, and then nobody else pretty much essentially around him. So you're just gonna have one big shiny piece of shit.
Well, it's not even that the big contract. You figure if they sell the team within the next year, you're only gonna have maybe a year left of Soto on the roster,
Oh, so then
and
yeah, you definitely
and
gotta trade him now.
and 9 out of 10 times a Scott Boras client, he's gonna take that player to free agency to get the max money he can get for his player. So even the new owner coming in is gonna be like, all right, well, we got 1 year left of this guy, but so we could either trade him or we could let him go to free agency, and then is the new owner going to be willing to want to shell out over $500 million on his first deal for Juan Soto?
No,
Like knowing that he's in the mix of trying to rebuild the team and rebuild the farm system and everything. So it's just,
that's why I think it's smarter to just trade him and get value for him.
I mean, because you figure if they trade him, they get value for him, and then they sell the owners that come in, they're most likely going to trade some of the prospects they got the prior owners got in return because the new owners are going to bring in a new manager, new GM, so they're going to have their own vision for the team.
Yeah.
So you know
Well, did you hear how fucking petty the Washington Nationals were for him?
what?
So they offered him that deal. He said, "No, I don't want that deal." So usually, what happens is when you go to the home run derby or All Star game, the team charters you a plane to get there. They
Okay,
told him, "Go find your own fucking flight." He had to get on a regular fucking flight in the middle of the night and fly over to LA.
really?
Yes. So, me, if I'm Juan Soto, oh, we playing that game. Okay. All right. Fuck you. Fuck you. That's 100%. Fuck you.
That's crazy. I didn't see that.
I mean, I seen it on Twitter, and it's also Ryan Clark commented on it. He goes, "Organizations expect us to be model citizens and to carry ourselves with integrity and dignity and show some respect for the organization. But you're gonna be petty and disrespectful like that. You can't even get me a flight. I'm still representing your team."
Yeah,
And he hasn't said nothing. He's been very classy and professional about it. But the day and age we live in, everybody heard about that, in some capacity.
yeah.
I just think that
That's fucked.
I would call my agent and be like, "Yo, send him a counter offer. I want $1 billion."
Not even that, but like, yo, tell him I want the fuck out of here right now.
Yeah, I want out somewhere. Just get me out. I don't care. I don't want to fucking be here. Why would I want to be here?
Yeah.
Shit, they're lucky Juan Soto don't pull a fucking Kyrie Irving. No, I'm good. I won't play.
Yeah, but then that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt his value.
Understandable. Yes, 100% it would. But I don't know. He's such a talent at such a young age. Do you think teams are really gonna give a shit about that?
Some maybe, yeah. I mean, because like if he gets traded at the trade deadline, that means you got 2 years left of him. So that means I don't know. It just makes it a really,
Tough
really,
situation.
yeah. You know.
It is. It really is. I don't know why it has to get to this so petty of a situation, and it's like we talked about weeks and weeks before about players wanting to get out. Look, I'll play. I'll do my duty professionally, but I don't want to be here. Yeah, you offer me a giant contract. No disrespect, guys. I'll take less to go somewhere else. I don't want to be here no more.
Right.
So, from an organizational point of view, okay, give us till the second when the deadline. You'll be out of here. You'll be on your way. You know what I mean?
I mean, there's no guarantee there's no guarantee that they're going to be able to move him by the deadline. I mean, are they going to be able to get the package that they're looking for?
Well, I've heard they're looking for cheaper players. So they may. I mean, they're gonna
Well,
get
it's
some
not.
prospects, but
That's really all. It's prospects, not cheaper players. It's are they going to get the prospects they want in return? And plus, they're trying to unload Patrick Corbin's contract.
yeah, they
You
got a
know,
lot of contracts they need to fucking get rid of.
so I don't know. I feel like this is going to drag on into the off season. I think this is going to be the headlines for the winter meeting.
Who's gonna get them?
Yeah, because then teams have, they have more time to lay out their whole plan. They just, lay everything out on the table and discuss everything, as opposed to having a rush to put a package together in just what, 31 days in July, right?
Yeah.
So you figure 7, 8, 10 days, 11 days to get a deal done.
Well,
That's pushing it.
they've probably been talking about. They've probably been in negotiations longer than we know.
Probably.
You know. All
But
right. So we'll move on to our next topic at hand. Shohei versus Verlander for the AL Cy Young. So I have Otani's stats here for pitching. Uh, he's 9-5 this year, 16 games pitched, 2.8 ERA, 93.1 innings pitched, 134 strikeouts. His WHIP is 1. Alrighty. Now what's Verlander's stats looking like?
um, I didn't look him up, but I looked at an article the other day. Otani's not even in the top 5 this year at the moment.
Really?
Yeah. So right now the top 5. The American League is Justin Verlander, Shane McClanahan,
McClanahan.
uh, Garrett Cole, Alex Manoah. Hold on.
Well, I mean, Verlander's stats this year out of 17 games he's pitched. He's 12-3, 1.89 ERA, 109 innings pitched, 108 strikeouts, and a WHIP of .88. So I mean, right now Verlander looks like that's all his.
I mean, yeah, but the article I read the other day pegged him as second in the top 5 list. So
I mean, the other day when we talked about it, when we were basically making this topic, well, Otani was on that 6-game stretch where he was just untouchable. You know what I mean?
yeah, Otani's gonna have to really have a really, really, really good second half to slingshot him up that list.
Yeah. So I mean, he's probably in the top 10 for it, outside the top 5. So he's gonna need another. I think he's gonna need another 6-game stretch like that to move him up into that conversation.
More than 6-game stretch. He's gonna have to literally pitch that way the whole second half, honestly, to at least get him into the top 5. I mean, his record is there. When you look at his record, he's 9-3. You look at the other guys, he's up there, but he's
all right.
gonna
So
take him
his last 7 games, he's 6-1 with a 1.57 ERA. Only 8 earned runs.
Okay.
12 walks, 69 strikeouts. His whip is .83. Yeesh. So last night's game wasn't
Yeah.
really that good of a game.
No, I mean he was pitching well up until the seventh inning, and then fucking like I said, he got ambushed in the seventh inning. Matt Olson hit a 2-run shot off of him.
Yeah.
And then it just, and they probably took him out right after that, but then it all unfolded.
Yeah. I mean, the last game he pitched versus Houston, it's a pretty fucking good game. 4 hits, 1 run, 6 innings, 2 walks,
Yeah.
12 strikeouts.
No, he's definitely.
I guess when you look at it, just from like an individual game stats, he looks like he should be in that top 5. I mean, the way he's pitching against these certain teams, Houston. I mean, best team in the league. You ain't letting them put up 1 run.
Right.
And all right, so now here's a question for it. Because Verlander is on Houston and Ohtani is on the Angels, do you think Ohtani would be pitching better if he was on a team like Houston that was competitive?
I mean, pitching better, no. I mean, I still think he'd be pitching at the same level that he's pitching, but I feel if you definitely put him on a different team, he would definitely be getting more run support, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. So maybe the wins go up a little bit.
The wins go up a little bit.
Yeah, well, it's also like they say, like, for pitchers, when they have more run support, it's a little easier to pitch.
It is, it's you pitch more freely, you're more relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
Your margin for error is, bigger as opposed to having to go out there and know that I gotta shut these guys down, and I can only give up maybe 1 run because I know that these guys are gonna have an issue trying to score runs.
And it's probably easier for Verlander knowing that, all right, my team's gonna put up 4 runs. I just gotta hold them to 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, so I guess we'll move on to the next segment. Verlander and Scherzer still have that old school pitcher mentality, where it's like we seen Scherzer that rehab start, putting on the eyes of the tiger in the dugout, like, oh yeah, it's gonna get dirty in this bitch. It's gonna get dirty,
Right.
Whereas like this, I guess that would fall into against these new pitchers like Garrett Cole or some of these newer faces that we're seeing at pitching. Whereas, it's different. You don't see that sense of urgency in these guys like I would in Verlander or Scherzer.
You don't see the intensity, you don't. It's just a job for them.
Yeah, whereas Verlander and Scherzer, they take it personally.
It's their craft. It's their livelihood. It's what they've been doing and working on since they were fucking 7, 8 years old, 9 years old, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Since their mother or father or grandfather or whatever put a baseball and glove in their hand and said, "Let's go play catch" or whatever.
Yeah. And to me, it's kind of disappointing. I want to see more enthusiasm and emotion from these pitchers, and especially in the old school setting. What I mean, like that old school mentality is like, look, I'm throwing this 100 or 98. If you can't hit it, that's not my fucking problem. Like I'm gonna go through your lineup. I'm gonna embarrass somebody.
Yeah, make it look like a little league lineup.
Well, no, like Scherzer for that Atlanta game, the first game of that series.
When he gave up the home run and then he gave up the double to Rosario and then he struck out the next guy and he did that. He had that that fist pump and you could see his emotion. He was like he all pumped up. Like,
yeah, like I'm planting my fucking flag. Like I'm letting my team know and the other team as well. This ain't gonna go the way you fucking think it is, dude.
Yeah, there's very few guys in the league that you see that from.
Yeah, well, especially Verlander, 39 years old. I mean, out there, literally going to win another Cy Young, and he's just like, look, can't touch this.
I mean, honestly, I feel like even though he's from the one tweet that I've seen where it said he was second on the list in the Cy Young voting, I really feel like he's leading the league right now. I mean, I
Yeah,
feel like he's definitely ahead of that other guy from Tampa Bay. So he's my favorite to win it for sure.
I think he is the favorite to win it. I just don't think you could take it away from him. 39 years old, he's out here pitching his ass off.
He's pitching like he's out there pitching like he's 30, 31, 32 years old. Like age is not a factor for this guy.
Yeah, it's not, and to the point of like the old school pitcher mentality with the emotion. Like I see Otani with it when he pitches, he gets pumped
Yeah,
up. I see it from bullpen guys. I don't, where's the emotion from these starters, man? Like you said, is this just a fucking job to you?
it
Because it
is.
shouldn't, bro. Like they always say to the NFL players, if you're on a shitty team or what it doesn't matter, you have to go out there and perform because that's your tape that's going out to all the other teams.
Yeah. Maybe maybe they don't really show it out there on the mound. Maybe it shows up more inside the clubhouse or in the dugout, which is hard for us to see that and get a gauge on that because they don't. It's not like you watch a game and they're always constantly showing in the dugout. Yeah, they do show you glimpses of the players in the dugout and whatnot, but
Well,
you know
at least let me see your emotion in the fucking in the press conference. You guys up there just straight,
I just
Yeah,
it's
I
just
just
it,
did it.
it's like they're robotic in the sense of like
Yeah, like when you are. How'd you feel when you had two guys on in the sixth and two outs and you had a full count and then, you're whatever the home run hitter's up, Soto or somebody, right? And what were you thinking? To throw the fastball, try to work it in on him,
trying to get ahead.
trying to get ahead, just trying to make the smart pitch. Like, nah, dude, tell me, like, look, I wasn't letting him get on base. Fuck that.
Yeah,
That also goes into this next topic of John Smoltz, Greg Maddux, great pitchers, Hall of Famers. They were able to adjust and become great even in their age. Where the fuck is it now?
yeah.
You don't see that anymore.
You got guys, they burn themselves out throwing gas, and then that's it. They're done.
Yeah, exactly. I.e. example, Jacob deGrom. Congratulations. You fucking played yourself.
I mean, his rehabs were looking good. Then he got pushed back because he had mild soreness in his shoulder.
Yeah. I
And then,
wonder fucking why.
and then they pushed him back to Thursday, this past Thursday for his rehab start. And he was fine. He pitched 5 innings through 60 pitches, struck out like, I don't know, like, it was like 9 guys or something like that. But it's like usually like we said, like you shouldn't have to be consistently hitting 100, 101 every time you're throwing the ball.
Yeah.
You shouldn't, like, I get it. You're trying to get these guys out, and yeah, we want to see effort from these players, but you like dial it back a little bit. I mean, I really believe that you don't have to be max effort all the time. Like you can definitely reinvent, or you can definitely adjust. You can dial it back 96, 97. And dude, I've seen pitchers throw a 93-mile-per-hour fastball past the guy because they weren't expecting the fastball. They weren't sitting on a fastball, or they just couldn't hit it. They just couldn't time it up right and hit it.
Exactly.
So if you're throwing 95, 96 with your accuracy and your control and everything, and the other pitches that you have, damn. I mean, his DeGrom's slider clocks in at 93 miles an hour. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that it's horrible, but I mean, you could dial that down a little bit.
Well,
I don't know.
like I said weeks ago, if I was Buck Showalter, I'd call up that minor league team. Dude, if he throws 100 again, pull him.
It's not his decision. I don't believe it's his decision. It's the owner's. It comes from the owner to the general manager to the training staff. I'm sure they talk to Buck, but I mean, I don't feel that decision ultimately is in his hands.
Well, then how come somebody, the owner, GM, or somebody's not like, yo, tell him to calm the fuck down? Look, I don't mind if you come back and you're throwing 100. right? But you're not even back yet, dude.
Yeah.
Shouldn't the rehab starts be to get your control down?
Control, get a feel for your pitches, get your arm strength back up, stuff like that.
Like,
You know,
I really just want to say to him, like, yo, DeGrom.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
You know what I mean? Like, calm the fuck down. Like, why can't you take a page out of John Smoltz and Greg Maddox's book? Like, I don't need to throw 100. Yeah, I have it. I could use it when I need to. Right? You know, the guy's not expecting a 100-mile-an-hour fastball on a 3-2 count. Or whatever the count, however you want to break down the count. You know? Maddox got dirt, like, you know, he played the corners. He added, you know, movement more to his pitches. Accuracy. Precision. I mean,
you know, I mean, granted, even with, you know, DeGrom throwing 100 miles an hour, he can still locate that pitch very well on the corners and stuff or whatever. But still, like, why do you have to?
I mean, for this year, you know, because I'm rooting for the Mets for you and all the other Met fans, and they look good. I want them to go to the World Series. I want them to win the World Series. I don't want them to beat the fucking Yankees in the World Series.
Yeah, that offense has got to wake up, or they gotta add another bat to that lineup.
They gotta get Soto.
It's they can win without they can add somebody else and not get Soto, and they can still win without Soto. Yes, he puts them over the top, but you know, you don't have to go that direction. I'm not saying they shouldn't. I'd like to see it happen, but I really feel it's a long shot to happen because they're in the same division.
I just, when I heard it the other day, I was pissed, and I was just like,
Congratulations. You played yourself.
like, yo, what are we doing here, man? Like, I know all the other Met fans out there, when that news came out, it definitely was.
Emotional damage.
You know what I mean? Like,
It was
fuck?
because in a sense it was like you were hoping for him to come back and work his way back and not have any issues, but at the same time it's like you're kind of anticipating it, like all right, what's next?
Exactly.
Like you're waiting for it. And
At this point, I mean, I think it's just a smarter move. Is if I'm Steve Cohen, like, look, you, goodbye, go somewhere.
You can't cut ties with him. Like I've told you, he's got a no trade clause, and
No, I'm saying he's gonna opt out though. I know he has the no trade clause. I'm saying
what if he doesn't? Then, you know, I mean, if he doesn't, then you have him on the team, and I'm not saying he's not tradable, but I mean, if he hasn't by that point, if he hasn't pitched in almost 2 years, because it's been over a year since he's pitched. I mean, yeah, he's pitching now, but I mean, when he started the rehab starts, it was about a year since he's thrown. But I mean, even if he's pitching right now, and then just,
I mean, it all goes back to the original topic here. You know, Greg Maddox, John Smoltz. Where's the adjustments, dude? You're getting older, not younger. You're
right?
getting older. You know what I mean? And this is not like another sport where you can kind of like LeBron James, kind of like hold off father time for as long as you can.
Yeah.
Right? This is baseball.
You know
your
what I mean?
arm is your money.
I mean, you look at Verlander. Verlander's 39 years old, and he's probably still topping out at. I don't know. I'm not watching the stats, but I know he's probably still topping out at, like, you know, 97, 98 miles an hour.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, and he can still throw at 100, but
Yeah, he probably doesn't want to though. I want to take care of my arm. I want to be able to help my team.
yeah.
You know, like Greinke. Granted, when he came in, it was phenomenal, right? But over time, it's accumulated on you. Don't have that same arm you have when you first came in. Yeah, all right, DeGrom. So you built your arm up, and you added strength to throw the 100. Congratulations. Where are you now with it? Now it's time to be I'm just gonna say it's time to be a fucking adult and be a smarter fucking player.
Right.
Why do you? My biggest thing of the whole thing of him throwing 100 miles an hour is, you're in a rehab start. You're playing against guys who will probably never even see the fucking majors because the fucking system of the minors is fucking all shit to hell.
Verlander's average fastball is 95 miles an hour.
You telling me you can't throw 95? He probably could throw 95 in his sleep.
And he's pitching the way that he's pitching.
Eh,
You know, but it's like,
it's
I mean, it, some guys are just built differently.
yeah. Well, it's looking like
What?
it's literally looking like when are we gonna even see you pitch?
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, my biggest thing for it was why are we throwing 101 miles an hour to minor leaguers? Like we just said before, work on your pinpoint accuracy, your precision, the execution, your mechanics.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be going out there against a minor league team, which we know you're not going to pitch past like 4 innings or whatever, right? So within those 4 innings, you shouldn't be throwing 100 miles an hour 7 to 8 times.
Right. Like I'm gonna pull up if this is gonna be 100% accurate. So this is it's only gonna go back as far as 2018. But from as far back as 2018, he's had a hyperextended right elbow, a hip, back tightness, neck, hamstring, right side, elbow, shoulder, forearm, shoulder. And
That's
if
all
I'm
DeGrom.
not, yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, I really believe he had Tommy John surgery in 2010 before he even came up.
Became who he was.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, granted, he had a stretch where he was dominant, and
He was
he won back-to-back Cy Young awards, and arguably when he's healthy and he's out there, he's arguably the best
best
pitcher on
pitcher
the
in baseball.
planet. But I mean, when you look at his prior injury history and knowing that he had Tommy John in 2010, it's kind of like it's it's like it's a matter of time before he starts breaking down.
Yeah, and it's as you've seen, you just went through that laundry list of fucking injuries. It's not like you had one injury and it's soreness and it's just taking you a long time to rehab. Those are a lot of fucking injuries, man.
Yeah,
Like Mike Dad always used to say, when he would argue with me about Derrick Rose. Yeah, he's great. He is. But if he's not on the court, he's not great. You have to be in the game to be a great.
right. And
So
when
when's he coming back?
well, I read an article the other day. Excuse me. They're gonna give him one more rehab start
Mm-hmm.
because when they bring him back, they want to be able to rely on him and lean on him to go 5-6 innings,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to having to tax the bullpen when he comes up. But so you figure, what's today? Saturday. I think he pitched Thursday. He'll probably have another rehab start Tuesday or Wednesday, so he won't be back in time for that Yankees series. You figured, honestly, he's probably going to be back by the deadline.
So
You
10
know,
days?
10, 11 days maybe, yeah.
Oh, man.
So you figure, and if he comes back on the 2nd or 3rd of August, even if he's healthy, you're going to have August and September. Like, it's just,
Yeah, but to be honest, August and September should be enough time for you to get your shit together. You know what I mean? For the playoffs.
hopefully.
I mean, but the way it's looking is, I don't think we even gonna see him this year. I just believe it in my heart. We ain't gonna see him.
I feel like we will, but I feel like there's definitely going to be another injury that's just going to set him back. Like, he'll come back. I think he'll have a couple of starts, 2 or 3 starts. And then I just feel like, there's just something else is going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not confident in this guy staying healthy. I'd like
I'm
to
not
see
either.
him stay healthy. I want him to, obviously. I want him to come back and be the DeGrom of old that, he
Why
could
Met
be,
fans fell in love with him?
But
Honestly, at this point, I'm not even looking for that old Grom. I just want to see you on the field. that's my
yeah,
biggest goal now. Is like, look, fuck all the stats and then you were the best and this. Dude, just fucking pitch. I
well,
just want you to pitch.
you want him to be successful, but Then you're going into next year, and it's like, all right, well, when he comes back, and depending on how well he pitches, and if he can stay healthy, it's like, and if he decides to opt into that player contract, because if he's like, all right, well, I haven't really pitched last year, I haven't really pitched in over a year and a half, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like is he gonna go onto the market, and is he really gonna get the money that he's thinking that he's gonna get when he's hasn't been healthy and he hasn't pitched in over a year and a half?
Well, I think it was
Um,
2 weeks ago we talked about some of the agents throughout the MLB believe that he doesn't even have to pitch a game and he's going to get the highest contract.
but that doesn't even make any sense. You're granted, and the other team's gonna give up all that money for this guy, and then they're gonna run into the same rash of injuries that he's having now.
Better them than you. At this point, like I'd be praying for please opt out, please opt out, please opt out, please opt
I
out,
mean,
because the amount of money you're gonna save and then be to reallocate that somewhere.
yeah, I mean, I think if he opts out, he's gonna be passing up on like 60 plus some odd $1 million.
So basically, DeGrom's in the Kyrie situation. You don't want to be there, but do you want to lose that money? It's a lot of money to walk away from.
And if he opts out and he's still not healthy, and he's and whatnot, then you're pretty much looking at like a 36 or 30 some odd plus $1 million paperweight that's just gonna sit there and not do nothing. And then it's gonna be hard to trade him. And if you trade him, you're gonna trade him for less than pennies on a dollar. You're not gonna get nothing in return for him. So
it sounds like you're willing to wait and see with him.
I mean, yeah, that's all you can really do. I mean, there's nothing else they can do. And if regardless, if he still says he wants to opt out, well, then you know what? Let him opt out. And then honestly, if the Mets want to go in a different direction, and I feel like they're going to, especially if he opts out, then that's good. They're going to save themselves 60 plus some odd million over the course of the next 2 years, and then
Yeah, that can go to a younger pitcher, starting pitcher who may not be, his potential or at his level.
I mean, at that point next year, if that's the case, I'd be down to seeing them sign Verlander to a 1 year deal.
Yeah.
1 year deal for I mean, I get it. It's going to be a lot of money, but
yeah, but it's only 1 year. It's on the books and then off the books.
And Verlander's proven to be healthier than DeGrom. So
yeah, and he's older. So I mean, like we've been saying, for the sake of this topic, he's got to start to be an adult and adjust. No more of this. I could do it. I could do
even
it.
Even if he adjusts, is his body going to be able to handle it? Because you can make the adjustments, but
that is a great point, Danny. Is
his body's got so much wear and tear on it at this point. It's like, and you're 34 years old, going on 35 into next season. It's nothing but a question mark from here on out.
Yeah, and that's what really sucks about it, though, is for the fact that is the this is the season you want him to pitch. We got Scherzer, we got Bassett, we got a couple other guys that are coming up that are pretty damn good, right?
Yeah.
And if you pitch with us, who can stop that 1-2 punch? It's going to be really hard for a team to stop that 1-2 punch.
It is,
especially come playoff time.
Even if that's the case, it's like if you guys can't score any runs, regardless of whoever's pitching, it's not going to make a difference. My real issue with this team now is this offense. It looks fucking lifeless.
What for? What?
No,
that was their first game back playing.
Still, it's just you go back a couple weeks ago before the All-Star break. That offense was looking fucking lifeless. And they've managed to
win games
the rest of the year and expect to still be in first place. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying completely. I honestly think right now, I think the best thing is if the offense is going to slump now. Don't slump later. I mean, I think Bucks.
They've been slumping for like the last month and a half. Because you figure April, May, and June, they were they were top 5 in a lot of offensive categories throughout the league.
Okay.
Now, they've dropped significantly. So,
Yeah, but they're still finding ways to win, though.
barely. And
Hey,
that's not going to continue.
just win, baby.
It's
A
not.
win's a win. No, I understand it's not going to continue. That's why I'm saying I'd rather the slump now than later. And I think Buck's a good enough manager where he's going to get them
they're
on.
in the slump right now, and they have to wake up.
This is true.
You know?
This is true.
Like, really adding Daniel Vogelback, like, really? Like, I get it. It's just, like...
Who the fuck is Daniel Vogelback?
That's what I'm saying. Like he's a fucking no-name. Granted, he hit 30 home runs a couple years ago, but it's like this guy, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, look, 30 home runs one time is a nice thing. I need some consistency.
And I get it. Yeah, he hits righties very well. You know, all of his home runs and doubles have come against righties this year. But still, it's like really, like.
And that falls back into the topic. Hey, DeGrom, you know, if you were here, you kind of could fucking help us out right now.
Not even, because he's gonna pitch. Even if he was back and he was pitching good, he'd be pitching just like Scherzer's pitching. I mean, and still probably losing like they did last night. You know?
Who pitched last night for him?
Scherzer started last night.
What was the score of that game?
4-1 they lost. Scherzer gave up 2 runs. The bullpen came in and gave up another 2 runs, and the Mets had they had opportunities in the 7th, and they had another opportunity.
They just didn't capitalize.
They couldn't.
All right.
That, like I said, the offense is fucking lifeless right now.
Well, the reason why I asked that though is for the fact that it's like I wanted to know if they had opportunities, or unless they just, you know, they shit the bed. It's like they didn't have an opportunity. The pitching staff for the other team was so good that day that they just never had a shot. So I'm at least optimistic, and for, all right, there is opportunities. They just didn't capitalize on it last night. Which I understand what you're saying. The offense needs to come alive in that aspect. But now you may fucking yell at me here. This is why I like small ball. Start bunting. At least start pinching these guys, you know, pinching the other team, like putting them in a hard position. And you know, it's like I understand what you're saying. They're lifeless. They're not hitting the ball, right? They're not getting the guys on base. Maybe it's time to do that.
Even when they're getting guys on base, you know, they're not hitting. And bunting's not going to solve the issue.
No. I'm just saying small ball
really
in general.
not.
Bunting, stealing, squeeze plays. You know.
Even with the additions that the Mets have made in the offseason, bringing in Marte and whatnot, it's like you look at. I don't know what the stats are for their stolen bases, but I know they're definitely probably towards the bottom of the league. You know, I mean, yeah, they're more aggressive on the base paths as far as like taking, you know, first to third on a single or some shit like that. But I've watched just about every single game up until this point, and I've ever rarely seen them steal a base. So.
I'm just saying for the sake of it.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I enjoy this team. They've been fun to watch so far this year, but I'm not gonna lie. My doubts are starting to creep in. That bullpen looks like shit. That offense looks like shit. You know.
Well, that's a good thing, though. It's a good thing, though, that because now we're really gonna see who this team is. We're going to see that, you know, the blinds have been, you know, lifted and moved. We're going to see what type of team. Yes, for all the way up to the All-Star break, that you guys look good. Really good. You're in a slump now. Let's see how they respond. Let's see what type of team they truly are. Past all the hype and everything that's going on this year, we're going to see who they really are.
I mean, they've had a really lackluster July. You know, I mean... You know, hopefully when the calendar turns to August, hopefully it's better. You know, because that's when the dog days of the season begin. So,
Let's see who. Let's see. I just want to pull up their schedule real quick. See who they got. All right.
So let's see. We can find stolen bases, home runs, earned runs, saves, strikeouts, hits. All right, stolen bases.
All right. So they got the Padres today, tomorrow, and then they have the Yankees back to back from Tuesday to Wednesday. All right. Then you play the Marlins. Then you play the Nationals. Big
Yeah,
4-game set with the Braves. 5-game set.
But dude, they can be out of first place by the time that series starts. And then if they're playing the way that they're playing now, come the end of the month or the beginning of August, they could be looking at potentially being 3 or 4 games out.
Yeah, but Thursday, August 4th to the 7th, they're playing. So they're playing Thursday, Friday, a doubleheader on Saturday, and then Sunday. All at Citi Field. So it's a big 5-game series in the next 14, 15 games, 14, 15 days that's going to come up.
Right. So,
I see you guys taking two or three from the fucking Nationals. I see you guys taking 2 or 3 from the Marlins. So
hopefully
try to win this series out versus the Padres. Split with the Yankees. Then 2 and 3, and then if you win, I would say if you guys win 3 out of those 5 games against Atlanta, I think that could right the ship. The key is here for them is don't lose too many series.
I'm not gonna lie, like I'm having my doubts. I mean,
Danny's over here like,
No, God, please, no.
Because I can kind of see it on the horizon, and I'm like, it's gonna be a small, gradual.
Don't do that.
And maybe they'll still probably make the playoffs as far as a wild card team. Which
hey, when you get in, anything can happen. So
yes,
the key is to get in.
It's fine, but it's like
you want that division now. And I don't blame you. I don't blame Met fans for saying no, fuck this. I want that division. I want that division, and I'm only a certain amount of games behind LA to take the number 1 seed.
If they keep playing the way that they're playing now,
that's gonna be a harder mountain to climb. So
that offense really needs to wake up and not.
I got a feeling for everybody out here. Everybody who's watching. Mets are gonna explode tonight for 8 runs. Who pitched for the Padres yesterday? You,
Darvish, and the Mets, and in all their games that they've played against him, they've not been able to beat that guy once.
He's one of the best in the league.
He is, and granted, I give him the credit, the respect, or whatever, but.
And sometimes it is like that. We see that all the time in other sports as well. Like, they just can't beat this certain guy. They can't play against this certain defense. There is stuff like that in sports where people have your number. There's nothing you could do about it.
And there's another thing that it just popped in my head too. I remember, I think I heard it the other day on the radio, or I heard it the other day listening to a game or whatever. But a lot of the guys in the Mets lineup have played just about every single game this year. So, aside from J.D. Davis getting a start here or there, or Dominic Smith getting a start here or there, or Jankowski getting a start here or there, every guy in that lineup, for the most part, has played just about every single game.
I know one guy that hasn't.
So they're tired.
Yeah, but I know one guy that hasn't played a single day. His name is Jacob fucking DeGrom. I'm just busting balls.
So that's what I'm saying. So if this lineup is tied, and granted, even with the All-Star break,
that's something I wanted to talk to you about.
3 or 4 days is not going to make a difference when you're going to continue to run these guys out there every single day.
Why are they only getting 4 days?
Because that's what it is.
I think that's got to get extended. You got to give those guys a week. This is a 162 game fucking season we're talking about here. We're not talking about 82. If it was an 82 game season like hockey or basketball, I understand it. It's 4 or 5 games. off, right? But baseball is an everyday thing. You're playing almost every day, like you're saying. They're for the most part playing every day.
And I get it. When you have superstars and when you have um, with these ball players, yeah, you want them out there, 130, 140 games in a season, which is fine, or 150 games in a season. But it's like if you're gonna just keep running these guys out there, they're
So now,
tired.
so now, should the Mets, in a sense, adopt what the Yankees are doing and Aaron Boone they're doing this year? All right, you're getting a day off. All right, you're getting a day off. All right, you're getting a day off. Seems like every other game, not every other game, but like they played, say they played today. All right, Judge, you're getting a break today. Tomorrow, all right, Josh Donaldson, you're getting a break.
But the Mets don't have the depth to do that.
How do the Yankees have the depth to do it then?
I mean, if you sit Lindor, you're gonna have Guillermo at short, McNeil at second, Escobar at third, and Alonso at first. What are you gonna do? Sit Pete and put Dominic Smith at first, even if he was healthy? What are you gonna do? You can take Escobar out the lineup, who hasn't been hitting, and you can put J.D. Davis at third, but he's not hitting. It's like I don't really. This team doesn't have enough depth.
All right. So maybe, depending on how this year goes, that should be something that they should address for the next season.
I think so.
100%. And maybe the MLB should look at expanding their rosters slightly. I'm not talking about massive, 5, 6 extra guys. I'm talking about 2, maybe 3.
Like, honestly, what's wrong with having a 30-man roster?
I don't see that means everybody can get a day off. Everybody can be more healthier for the most part because they're not playing every day.
Dude, I read an article a while back. They're talking about even cutting the number of pitchers that you're allowed to have on your team from like 14 down to 11.
What?
And then there's gonna be certain certain stipulations or whatever between bringing guys up and down.
Well, from what you just saying that to me, this is what I immediately in my head thought. You're gonna do that, and all the marquee teams across baseball are gonna be the best teams. It's like making football no cap. Well, we already know who's gonna win. New England, Dallas. It's gonna be the New York Yankees, Houston. Those big market teams. They're gonna rule because they have the best players. So now, like you're telling me you're cutting me from 14 to 11.
Or whatever it was.
Dude, I'm a small market team. You're just essentially bending me over.
I don't know.
Jesus.
I see the dark cloud over this team already. I really do, and it's nothing against how well they've played so far. It's nothing against Buck, but I see it.
Well, if you see it, then a lot of other people see it.
Maybe not. Maybe they're more optimistic than me, and to each his own. My cap is off to you.
Yeah, but we've talked about that, the way you guys have been indoctrinated as Met fans. That's why, like, we talked about it, a week or two ago, like, they're rolling, they're doing good, but, like, a part of you, just because of being a Met fan for so long, is like, all right, when's it coming?
It's like the way that they're playing now. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to play this way throughout the rest of the year, but, I mean, honestly, even if they play 500, you figure, all right, so last night was their 94th game, so there is 66 games left. If they go 33-33, they're barely a 90-win team.
91 and 69.
And granted, yes, a 90-win season is a good season, but
Yeah, but like you just said,
then with that lineup, when you go into the playoffs, despite who they added the trade deadline, honestly, it's like, what offense are you getting? What offense is gonna,
Well, I do agree. I think them trading for Soto, that is gonna make a big impact.
Yeah, but that's not. I really don't see that happening. I really don't. I'd like to see it happen, but
I'll tell you what you want to see happen. You want the Yankees to trade for Soto. So then Aaron Judge can go play for New York for the real New York team. And
well,
I know
I read an article that they might even still they can definitely afford both of them. So I wouldn't put it past them.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean,
fucking hate the Yankees.
so
It's oh Jesus Christ.
so
Dude, if they pay both of them, I know John Carlo is gonna have to go at that point.
no, I mean he's still on. I don't know what his contract looks like, but I mean he's still going to be there. They're just going to have to alter the team and how they do it, and in other ways with
I hope the fucking Yankees lose the World Series this year. Actually, you know what? Fuck that. I hope they get booted in the first round, cocksuckers.
So the next 2 months are going to be.
I would say for the Mets,
really,
this next 3 weeks is going to be.
Honestly, it's going to make or break your season.
It's going to define the year for them.
I can really see them losing this series to San Diego. I really can.
Who's pitching tonight?
Bassett and then Carrasco tomorrow. I just.
I'm optimistic. I think they could do it.
I have my doubts. At least, it just doesn't look good.
All right, so that's MLB. We're gonna move on to our top 5 dead or alive second baseman. Danny, would you like to lead us off, sir?
Sure. So, number 1, Jackie Robinson. Number 2, Rogers Hornsby. Number 3, Joe Morgan. Number 4, Rod Carew. Mm-hmm. And number 5, Jeff Kent.
I have Jackie at number 1. I got Joe Morgan at number 2. I have Rod Carew at 3. Number 4, I have Roberto Alomar. And number 5, this is, like I said, this is our top 5 dead or alive. You can fucking shoot me if you want. I have DJ LeMahieu as my number 5.
You keep sucking that guy's dick.
Bruh.
Yeah. You're on that guy like white on rice every time that you have an opportunity to.
Dude.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's disrespectful,
You
sir.
You have a hella crazy love affair for that guy.
He fucking shares my name. It was my favorite player on the fucking Rockies until the fucking Yankees, all right, we'll take him. And he's still the best hitter on the Yankees. Contact hitter.
Yeah. Average hitter.
Fuck you.
No, I mean average wise.
All right. I thought you were like, yeah, he's average. Like, fuck you, Danny. Yeah, that's pretty much my top 5. You definitely have to put Jackie at number 1. Joe at number. I think Joe's got to be on the list. So is Carew. When I was doing my research and looking at second baseman, now there was a lot of guys on there. The reason why I didn't pick half those guys to be on the list is because they played in the 1900s. I have never. I can't even find footage to watch you fucking play. So it's basically like like taking someone's word for it.
Well, we can't really find any footage on Jackie now, can we? But we know he's the greatest second baseman of all time. I mean, arguably. I mean,
granted, if you wanted to really be technical, Jackie could be one of the best first basemen ever. He was forced to play first base for the first couple of years of his career.
Yeah, but I don't think it's enough. It's definitely not enough to make him the best first baseman of all time. That is a long shot.
No, I'm saying in the conversation though.
Not even. I don't know. I don't believe it. No. I don't think so, my guy.
He said, no. Danny
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
No, you're not. Absolutely.
I had to put Rod on that list. Rod was fucking something special too. Hey, I could have been a dick. I could have threw everybody off. For my number 5, I could have said Chuck Knobloch.
So,
That's our top 5 that are alive. Guys, bear with us here for the NBA. Jesus Christ. We're waiting on this Donovan Mitchell deal. I'm hearing rumors it's done, but we're waiting on the details and for it to go public and this and that. It's going to be for 8, 9 picks, 11 picks, and a player. Like, can we just get this shit done already?
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm tired of seeing on NBA news, oh, a 4-team trade possible. You know, he goes here, he goes here, he goes here. Just fucking get it done. Jesus Christ. What are we nitpicking about here? Look, the Knicks have no idea what to do with their draft picks. We see that every year at the draft. They have not a fucking clue. So get rid of the draft picks. Get a guy who's a guarantee.
Right. You know, and honestly, we're also waiting on what's going to happen with Kyrie. I just heard Kevin Durant just created a TikTok today.
Yeah, I heard the first video was pretty funny, but
bro, it's a fucking joke. It's a fucking circus.
Well, like I say to all my,
it's like, if you ask me, all athletes should not be allowed to have y'all shouldn't be allowed to have social media accounts. For what?
Or at least have someone manage it.
No, I mean, not even for what. What do you need social media for? The fuck?
It's more of a brand thing now.
Brand thing? Like, your brand is on the jersey for the team you play for. That's your brand.
They think different. I agree with you. I don't think they should have it. I think it creates more of a headache than it does, than it does to help.
Right. Thank you, because that actually just that gave me my last one that I was thinking about. Because it reminded me of something that baseball's gonna do next year. So, but James Harden, he signs a 2-year, $68 million contract with a $35 million player option for 2023. Like, yo, I get it. He's only 32, but like I said weeks ago on an episode, this guy is fucking done. He comes into camp. He's not in shape.
Million.
And the way he played, like really.
He had one good playoff game. That was it.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, the Suns did re-sign Ayton.
Yeah.
So they matched that offer sheet that the Pacers were giving him.
Right. I'm happy about that.
I am too, but if I'm the Suns, I think they played themselves. To be 100% honest with you.
All right, so let's just jump right into the hate it or love it then, because that's my first hate it or love it.
Wait, hold on. Before we do that though, Philadelphia just got approved for a $3.1 billion arena now.
I heard about that. Yeah.
So why would it be smart to spend $66 million on a fucking has-been? I
mean, granted, there's a, and that's the thing. There's an option after this year, but it's a player option, and
he opted in.
That's free money. The fuck? The fuck is wrong with you, Philly? Like, y'all are some fucking idiots, bro. Like, yo, y'all are fucking idiots. Y'all trash your city after your team wins a Super Bowl. You fucking morons.
All right, so everybody for the whole week, don't talk to Danny about Philly. Because you're going to get what you just fucking heard.
It's crazy.
Such is life for basketball. Bunch of prima donnas.
Yep. And all sports.
Yeah.
So, they hate it or love it. So, my first hate or love it is DeAndre Ayton re-signs with the Suns.
I kind of hate it. The reason why I hate it is because you should have had an offer to him immediately. You shouldn't have let him go walk somewhere and then the Indiana Pacers like, dude, I'll give you $144 million. And then he signed it. So now Phoenix got shit. You basically got fucking conned into paying $144 million. If you did your due diligence and actually fucking talked to the guy, you probably could have gotten for $100.
Maybe, but it's more like, for me, I mean, I love it because I want to see the Suns stay together and I want to see that team win it. But It's like if you ultimately kind of knew you were gonna retain him, why let it go that far? Why drag it on?
Yes.
So, but I love it. He's still there. They stay together, and
Yeah, he's still young.
the Suns, in my eyes, are still the team to beat in the West. I do. Now that they're still gonna stay together, I do. I mean, yes, you got Memphis and they have John Morant, but I think Phoenix is really going to be the team to beat, and I feel like they really have a chip on their shoulder.
I'm not against it. I just think, barring the Warriors doing anything stupid like trading for Kevin Durant, they're gonna have the same squad they just had on the court. For the past season that just passed.
Right.
I believe on paper the Warriors are still that scary. Now, if they hadn't won the championship this year, you would look at the lineup and be like, yeah, that's a solid lineup, but they have problems.
Well, fuck Golden State. I don't give a fuck what paper says. I don't give a fuck who they have. I'm tired of fucking seeing them, bro. It's got like, come on now, like the fuck out of here. It's like football. Like I'm tired of seeing the same fucking teams up there every year. It's like
I agree with you. I'm tired of seeing the same teams. I do have hope for the Suns. I'm just not the biggest Chris Paul fan. That's why, you know what I mean? I would like to see them win.
Well, he's not going to be back, I don't think.
Yeah, he is.
Is he?
Mhm.
Well, maybe he'll have a limited role.
You can't do that. You paid him all that money.
Oh.
And he's still arguably one of the best point guards in the league.
At his age, yeah.
At his age. All right, Danny. Hate it or love it. MLB's All-Star Game should decide home field advantage for the World Series.
I love it.
They should bring that back, right?
They really should.
I love it, too, because then that would bring more revenue and interest into watching that fucking game.
Not even that, but I feel like if that's the case, the games would be a lot more competitive.
Yes.
It's like, because now, I get to pitch in an All-Star game. Oh, it doesn't matter. I'm here, All-Star game. Yeah, okay, I can go out there, pitch, give up 2 runs. Oh, well, I was still an All-Star.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I think it would bring more people in to watch. That's why I want it to change back, because then I would make it a point to watch it, because then the game has some value to it. It's not just watching, with respects to the All-Stars, not just some fucking Joe Schmoes out there that I've never heard of that just got voted to the fucking list. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where the lineups and actually people who get voted in, it makes a difference.
It does,
Instead of like coming out the first inning, all right, we'll pitch Ohtani for an inning, then Verlander for 1, then this guy for 1, then this guy for 1. No, now it's like, all right, well, Verlander's starting a game, he's giving me 4. Then I can go, actually using these guys the way they're supposed to be used, not just some fucking show on the road.
Yeah. And it's like, I get it, you'll have all these guys make the All-Star team, but it's like there'll be guys that don't even get in and don't even get a chance to play.
Yeah.
So it's like, why even have all those guys?
Exactly.
At least with the NFL, at least, you can rotate guys more, you can move guys around more, It's like an All-Star game, like you said, okay, Ohtani 1 inning, Verlander 1 inning, this guy 1 inning. It's like,
Yeah, it's bad business.
It's retarded.
All right, it's your turn.
Well, it hasn't been official yet, but hate it or love it, Donovan Mitchell gets traded to the Knicks.
I love it.
Because it can still fall through and it can not happen, and then he can get shipped somewhere else.
Oh, my God.
It can happen because it's not official yet.
I know, but it's just like, come on, New York.
I really want to see it happen. Because if that happens, I'm really going to look forward to wanting to watch the Knicks this year.
Yeah, and he's from New York City.
Yep.
So I mean, like,
and he was, we share the same birthday. So,
look, this is something for the Knicks. It's like, look, guys, shit or get off the pot. Like I said before, you guys have no idea what the fuck you're doing with drafting. Not a fucking clue. So those picks shouldn't really mean much to you anyway, because you don't know what the fuck to do with them.
And not even that. Out of all those picks, how many of those guys that you're going to use those picks on, how many of them are going to really turn into something?
None, honestly. Because they have no idea who the fuck to pick. Put it this way: essentially, the Knicks could have already had Donovan Mitchell the year he got drafted, but they chose somebody else
Yeah.
who's not even there anymore.
Let's see.
I love it. It should have get off the pot, New York. Come on, it's time. New York Knicks fans are probably the most loyal fucking fan base in all the fucking sports, and you guys constantly shit down their fucking neck with this bullshit.
Yep. Let's see. 2017 NBA draft. He was the 13th overall pick.
Yeah, I think New York had like 10 or 9.
Let's see. Let's see. The Knicks were at 8. Wait, is that right? Yeah, the Knicks were at 8. And you know who they took?
Who?
Frank Brian Nitikina.
Ntilikina.
Whatever.
He's okay, but he ain't Donovan Mitchell.
Like really?
So
like,
now you understand. They have no fucking clue what to do when it comes to draft. You got 8 or you got 11 or 14 fucking draft picks. Dude, give him all of it if it fucking requires to get this fucking guy here.
Dude, they could have had Bam out of Bayou.
They could have had fucking so many guys. They just don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I'm looking at this list of players that came out in that draft, and I'm looking, I'm just like, eh. I mean,
look, you got Brunson, you get Donovan. That's gonna open up the spotlight for people to be like, you know what? I want to go play with those boys in New York. Come on, there's nothing more iconic than the Garden for basketball.
Yeah, seriously.
And that should be like proof in the pudding, for the organization. Is like, when we're really good, we have the best arena, period. We have the best fans, period. That owner, I forget his fucking name.
Jim Dolan.
Jim Dolan.
Fucking
Somebody
cracker.
better hit him over the head with a fucking pipe and make him sell that goddamn team.
He's not gonna sell that team, not anytime soon.
I think basketball should force him to sell that fucking team because that's fucking ridiculous. You're kicking out Hall of Famers of your Hall of Fame,
and you don't even know how to put a team together.
Exactly, and then you have people outside the stadium going, "Cohen, when are you going? Whatever the fuck his name is, Dolan. When are you gonna sell the team? When are you gonna do this?" Just general questions, not disrespecting him. He bans them from the Garden. Like, go fuck this guy, man. As long as he's there, they'll never win.
No, I agree. Just like with the Mets, as long as the Will Ponds were there, they'll never win.
Yeah. And look at that transformation. Cohen buys it, the fucking team takes off.
The transformation has been done. I mean, you look at a lot of teams across the league. I mean, yeah, every team, every owner says, "Oh yeah, our goal is to win." Well, if your goal was to really win, then your product would be a lot better.
Exactly, because your product is dog shit. For Christ's sakes, the only reason why I go to Knicks games is because the fucking tickets are so fucking cheap. All right, hate it or love it, Danny. Kevin and Kyrie stay with the Nets.
I love it. Honestly. And that's going to conflict with one. Well, no, because I'm not using that, right? Because I got a new one. So fuck that. So then I can go all in on this. I hate it. I mean, I love it. Stay in Brooklyn. Y'all are both fucking headaches. Y'all are both prima donnas. Just stay to fucking Brooklyn, bro. Just stay at.
Danny wants them far away from LA.
And fuck you, LeBron. Fuck your extension. Take this last year and go eat a bag of dicks after this year. Fuck you. Lakers need to rebuild, like.
Yeah, but at least,
and honestly, Rob Pelinka needs to get the fuck out of LA too. Like you're fucking horrible, bro. Like you're horrible.
Hey, but at least look at the difference. The Knicks don't know what the fuck they're doing. LA is a team that could tear it all down, and within 2 years they're right back to where they need to be.
I wouldn't say that.
I'm just using an example.
I wouldn't say 2 years, because I feel like LeBron's got to go, AD has got to go, Russ has got to go, the GM's got to go. Like that whole organization needs to, like Genie needs to really fucking wake the fuck up and
do something about it.
Because you're killing that team. You're killing that organization.
All right, you're up.
Your dad would beat the shit out of you if he was alive.
or,
All
or
right.
or scream very loudly.
Hate it or love it. The Angels should trade Otani.
I love it. I
I
love
agree
it because
too.
I hate watching talent go to waste like that.
Yep.
He needs to be on a higher market team. I don't care where, but he should be on in a high market team. Houston,
Yeah.
somewhere, somebody. You know what I mean? Because if he goes to New York, either team in New York, he's gonna be the fucking man.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I love it. I want to see him go somewhere where he can have a team that can help him compete and win.
I mean, if he goes to the Yankees, depending on what they do, he's not the face of that team because you still have Stanton and you still have Judge. But if he goes to someone like Houston or the Mets or any other team, he's essentially going to become the face of that franchise.
Yeah, 100%. All right, hate it or love it. Kyler Murray deserved the money.
Not at all.
Yeah, that was quick. Not at all.
Not at all.
I
Not a fucking dime.
I really want to see what this team looks like now. Not this year, because we already know what it looks like. I want to see what it's going to look like going forward, because it's just going to be him.
Dude, they're gonna have a shitty year this year. Like the last 2 years, they started off really good, and then this year is gonna just be.
Oh yeah, I could see them winning 9 games. That's about it.
Maybe.
I'm saying that's their max, 9 games.
Yeah,
and not
maybe.
to mention, Kyler's gonna get fucking hurt probably at the end of the season. Man.
And then they're gonna get rid of Cliff Kingsbury or whatever his name is, their head coach.
Uh-huh.
And then they're gonna probably shake everything around, and then it's a fucking disaster.
100%, it's a fucking disaster. All right, you're up.
Hate it or love it. Mets should forget about Soto and go after Otani.
I love it just for the fact that Otani pitches. If Otani didn't pitch, then I would be like, go with Soto.
I love it because I don't feel like it's gonna cost them the draft capital that it would cost for Soto. And I get it, Soto's 5 years younger and Soto's a generational type player, but Otani's a generational type player.
No, he's a once in like 100-year player.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, granted he's 4 or 5 years older, but still 27, 28 years old, that's still in the prime.
Yeah, baseball you could play for a long time.
So, and you can still bring him over and you can make him the permanent DH with Alonso at first, and
I think.
And then you can still sign him, and then he still has 1 year left on his deal. He's a free agent after next year, but you could still sign him to a 5 or 6 year extension for like, I don't know, fucking $300 million or $270 million or whatever it is. He's not going to command as much as Soto is.
And I don't think Otani doesn't look like that type of guy who I want the whole house.
No, he wants to win.
Pay me accordingly what I should be paid, and I'm ready to do work.
Yeah.
All right. Hate it or love it. Lamar will get paid more than Kyler.
Yes, because the bar has already been set, and he's seen what Kyler got. He's seen what Deshaun got. And Lamar is better than Kyler. Is he better than Deshaun? I don't know. Neither. Deshaun has given you a little bit more, I would say, as far as like, he's. I don't know. Like, but yeah, I think he'll definitely get more than. I mean, I hate it. But
I hate it too.
I think he's definitely gonna get more.
Or somewhere in that ballpark range. But I don't believe he should. Like, come on, dude. You really deserve all that money? We haven't even made it out of the first round of the playoffs.
Right.
Like, what? How does that justify you owing that money? Oh, it's the market. It's the market. All right. Well, it's Cleveland's fucking fault then, because now everybody's gonna get fucking paid. Yeah. And to be honest, what was fucking Baltimore's issue last year? He got hurt. Half their secondary got hurt. Their running backs all got hurt. Sorry, now you're going to allocate all that money to Lamar. You don't even have a wide receiver.
Yeah.
So, it's another day for another story. All right, you're up.
Hate it or love it. MLB is going to start advertising next year on the jerseys.
I hate it.
You're gonna like see T-Mobile and fucking Sprint or whatever fucking other company. Like really?
But then
Like y'all
it's not a uniform anymore.
like y'all don't make enough money. Like you're concerned about putting advertisement on the jerseys, but then if you look across all of baseball, the attendance is down at at just about every stadium.
Yeah.
Except for a couple of teams, and at the end of the article, those teams were one was the Astros, one was the Mets, and I think there was like two or three other teams where the attendance was actually up a little bit. And granted, it's up more from than when it was pre-pandemic in 2019.
Yeah.
But still, it's almost kind of at like an not an all-time low, but it's low. So you're more concerned about bringing in money, but you're not concerned about bringing in fans to the stadium, and then you keep changing rules and adding things and fucking up the game.
Hey, I hate it. I hate it. Look, a uniform is supposed to be a uniform, not a canvas to advertise.
Like fucking Major League, when the whole fucking in the movie Major League, the whole fucking wall is fucking advertisements. It's like, really?
But that's your stadium. That's okay. That's your
No,
stadium.
I get that, but it's like just in the general concept of like, what is like, you know what it's gonna be like? It's gonna be like NASCAR. Guys are gonna come out in fucking M&M fucking jerseys and fucking patches of fucking other advertisement and shit or whatever. Like, really? Like,
Yeah, it's like, so essentially, like, within years, you'll be watching a game, you're like, what the fuck is this? Why is it Pepsi versus Mountain Dew?
yeah.
No, this is the Dodgers versus the Padres. Dude, I see Pepsi and fucking Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I hate it to love it.
It's fucked.
Mets acquire Soto before the August 2nd deadline.
I love it because I'd like to see it happen, but I don't think it's a realistic possibility. I really don't.
I love it. I think, like you said, I think they need that bat, and I think Nationals are going to be willing to part ways with him, because it looks like we talked about earlier. It looks like an entire fucking headache.
It does, but I don't feel like they're going to trade him to a team within the division.
Well,
so Atlanta's out of the picture. Honestly, the front runners are probably the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Astros, the Padres maybe. And I'm like,
I do see the Mets on the list. I've been seeing in articles they are on the list.
They're
like the last team on the list.
They're still a long shot, yeah.
But what makes me excited about this is the fact that it's not the Wilpons anymore. It's Steve Cohen. And Steve Cohen may call his GM and be like, yeah, I want that fucking guy.
It's not about his GM. Steve Cohen is going to make the final call at the end of the day. But like he said in the offseason, he wants to, he wants to be like the Dodgers of the East. He wants to have long sustained success, and he wants to have prospects, and and he wants to have a full minor league system of guys that he can bring up and that are going to perform. And
I'm not knocking that. So does 23. You trade for him, you sign him on an extension. Boom, there's that one guy that's going to be there for a long time. You have Alonso who's going to be there for a long time. Lindor is going to be there for a long time. I hope Starling's going to be there for a long time.
Well, at least he's going to finish out his contract with there. Will he come back after that? Probably not.
All right, but still, you have longevity there. And I think this is, like you said, once in a generational talent. And Cohen's already proven that he's going to make moves at the deadline.
Yeah, but even if that's the case, even if they want to go balls to the walls and bring that guy in, is Washington going to want to trade him within the division?
I think
if that's the case, the Mets are going to have to overpay. And
I see Steve Cohen overpaying for it. Come on, he brought in Baez and who else last season?
That was it. Baez and then Rich Hill.
I mean, at the time, that Baez move was okay.
I mean, I liked it. I thought that was,
I like Baez. I think Baez is a solid ball player. It's not this year is not his year.
He's having a dog shit year in Detroit, but
but see, what's that say? You become what you see.
No, it's like what you were saying. It's like you can play with it if you're like, it's like when it comes to certain sports, or just competing in general. If you're competing against higher talent, then that's gonna want you to up your game up, and you're gonna want to be better. But if you're going up against lackluster talent, or it's like,
or
well,
your team is lackluster, you're gonna play lackluster.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
Do you have another hit at 11 or no?
no, that was my last one.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining our first Saturday episode. Click like the video, subscribe, do whatever you do. You know, touch yourself. I don't care. We'll be back tomorrow, 11 a.m. For our football segment. Heads up, we're going to be going over fantasy draft, how you should be drafting, and what positions should be vital for those first 2 picks. All right. So, thanks, guys.